Good evening, everybody. It is 10:15. Punch in and welcome to episode 14 of the NXT Night Shift. I am 1/3 of the Indie Wrestling Guide podcast, as I'm wearing tonight, and live from the set of the legendary Dick Cavett Show, which boasts guests like Muhammad Ali, Keith Hernandez, Anthony Quinn, Laurence Olivier, Ray Charles, David Bowie, and Judy Garland. I am JGold, and with me tonight, speaking of legendary guests, he is the Main Event Network Iron Man. He can go all night long. It's Chicago's finest. It's Tino time. And in our trifecta of greatness, a man who needs no introduction, a little heart and soul of the network, my friend from the West Coast, the butcher of Bakersfield, the godfather of Four Loko. It is the Great Brown Hope. Now, boys, it's a very special birthday episode of the Night Shift again, because as of tomorrow, we want to wish the Jack Sparrow of this Black Pearl, the mayor of Flavortown, the Moana to our Matanui, the big boss man of our Cobb County, he's Mr. OTM Kyle. Happy birthday, boss man. This weekend was Father's Day. So happy Father's Day all around. I spent it golfing and cooking burgers for my in-laws. Then I took 20 minutes of a beating because it wasn't rare enough for my father-in-law. It's tough watching 12 burgers, half dozen hot dogs, and 4 chicken burgers all at once. Just eat the goddamn patty. As we say, let's move the kids' trunks to the driveway as we are preparing for sleepaway camp. Let's tune into the CW and let's go live to the great state of Wisconsin, where I'm told is the home of cheese, and the Pacific Coast, California, which I can only assume has cheese as well. We are riding on the water's edge as we travel around the coast to the Great American Bash in a 25-foot yacht loaded with finger foods and sushi, gleefully holding on to the Great Brown Hope's waist as he guides the jet skis off the side of the coastline. Sponsored by Tahine. Welcome to the Wrestling Road Trip. It is the NXT Night Shift. Boys, welcome in to the late night carnival.
This is going to be fun. I was totally get paid time and a half for this.
Well, you know what? Oh,
we're getting paid?
Oh, well,
hey now.
No, nobody told you, Tino. I'm sorry. Oh, hey, Mara. There's my niece on there again.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? My family seems to come on here and do their thing. How are you boys doing? How have you been since I've last seen you? Great Brown Hope, it's been about a week. And Tino, I think it's been a little while since we've done stuff together.
I think the last time I saw you was the 24-hour, other than being in the chat, I think it was the 24-hour live stream. So, day by day, it's getting nicer outside. Summer days, it was nice. I went to the pool today, so it was nice to actually get out and do something. And
I'm right, by the way, right? You're in Wisconsin, right?
Yes, I am. Sadly, I am in Wisconsin, but it's like the community I live in has like 4 pools, has a hot tub and stuff like that. So that was nice, but yeah.
It's all good.
I'm still Chicago's finest, though. You can never take the Chicago out of me. So
that's what I'm talking about. You sure are. That's exactly what I think you are. And Great Brown Hope, how have you been? You had a long weekend, I know.
Yeah, it's been a tough week. It's been a long week, but we're getting through it. Just
okay.
Looking out for each other.
Back ASAP.
Yeah, we need that. We need the voice, the voice of the network. We need it back. And speaking of voices, fellas, I don't think it would be a night shift if we didn't get to the phones to start off. And I'm gonna let him in now, guys. But here he is. It's Stan from Burlington.
Oh no,
Stan.
Oh, hi. It's me, Stan from Burlington. I don't know if you remember me.
I remember you.
Sure let me in early tonight. Huh. So I see Kyle isn't on the show this week.
He is not.
I sure hope his Bumble date is going well. He probably shouldn't have posted Jewish in his profile. Hey, you guys should know I wouldn't normally waste my A-levels material on the B squad. Hey, let's let these guys fill in with Juneteenth around the corner. But Tino is just so lovable. Hey, Tino, JGold needs a fill-in for his absurd intro segment. Don't worry, you don't have to talk. He won't let you get a word in otherwise.
It's stupid.
But this is fun. JGold in New York, the Great Brown Hope in California, Tino in Wisconsin. I mean, those are like the only states Biden won. Hey, is Mr. Cincinnati there?
He's not, Stan, not tonight.
Wrong
See
show,
the cast I got today?
Wrong show.
He's never here.
Oh.
Next week.
That's too bad. You guys should have let him fill in tonight. Hey, JGold,
Yeah.
did you know that Cincinnati at one point had the distinction of being known as Porkopolis due to its prominence in the meatpacking industry? Well, seeing your co-hosts tonight, I'm just going to leave it there. Hey, what doesn't belong and why?
Oh, okay. What doesn't belong and why?
What doesn't
GBH Tino,
belong
you
and
guys,
why?
you get to play what doesn't belong and why.
Hey, Tino. Hey, the Great Brown Hope. You guys know this game?
I do. I
Yeah.
know this.
All right, I give you 3 names, and you tell me what doesn't belong and why. Okay, here we go. A, U.S. Open golf champion J.J. Spawn. B, former tennis great Yvonne Lendl. C, JGold. What doesn't belong and why?
Tino,
Is it JGold?
Great Brown Hope. You feel like guessing?
JGold. It's probably JGold.
I feel like you guys are cheating. These are the first guys to ever get it right. But you're right, you troglodytes. That's perfect. The answer is JGold. Because unlike the other two, no woman has ever told JGold, hey, great round. Okay, gotta go. Bye.
Okay. Thanks, Stan. And I'm
One's
sure-
gonna do on Tuesday night.
Till
huh?
next week, Stan.
thanks so much, Stan. We
Oh,
greatly
man.
appreciate it. Anyway,
I
fellas,
knew that.
it is NXT night. It is ladies' night on NXT. It is women's eliminator matches night. And we start off hot, if we could, with Miss Parker and Thea Hale. And the crowd is really hot for this one. Tino, GBH, give me your opinions on this.
Well, first of all, I'll let it be known. I got a YouTube subscription today so I can watch this. And it's not on till fucking 8 o'clock.
Yes. I'm just happy I'm not the only one. Mine says
Yeah.
9:30. I was like,
So I
huh?
haven't seen it.
I had to watch it off of my my Fire Stick on us. It was like the Buffalo CW.
The highlights on Twitter though.
It's
So it's
free on cable. I just have it on CW 11. It's just channel 11 in my.
Channel 11.
We just pull it out of the air. You just get it off the antenna. You know what I
I
mean?
was just about to say, do you have an antenna? Are we like outside?
Come on now. I'm as old
Are we
school as it gets.
outside pressing-
Exactly. We used to do
pressing
that
the
back
button?
in the 80s. We used to go out there and make sure the antenna was facing the right direction. Okay, so since both of you, I hope Tito watched, but GBH
Yeah.
said he saw some highlights.
I
So-
I was able to find it and watch it. I mean, obviously Jada tapped and Thea won the match, but we didn't
Yeah.
see that. So, that's
Well,
my thing. So
I
that's
like that. I kind of knew they'd be behind. They'd kind of be behind Jada on this one. I did not think Thea. I think Thea is going to be more of a gatekeeper as we move along. Unfortunately, for a bit, I think she's going to lose more than she's going to win at this point. I wasn't into the match that much. It wasn't. I wasn't into it. I'm just saying they weren't breaking any new ground with this one. The fake tap was a good way to get that match over into, or the tap that he didn't see. Yeah, Kyle, they were solid. I'm just saying I don't think they were breaking any new ground with these matches. For 8 women total who were going to look to win a title, I don't know if the urgency, if it felt like they were urgent matches. So that's
Yeah. And it looks like these are all regulars too from the women's division now.
yeah.
The regular rotation. So yeah, I could see Thea Hale taking a couple losses for a while after this.
Yeah, and I just didn't think that it was amazing, but it got Parker over. The fans liked it, and we go on to the backstage moments, and I have the worst trio: Inamura, Briggs, and Elijah having a conversation. What's that face?
The worst trio.
If you were doing a trios match in Chikara, they would come out as the worst trio.
I don't know. Are they any worse than Wesley and his goons?
Well, they
or
did. They
Top
managed
Dollar.
to sneak. They managed to sneak their way in tonight. So,
Son of a bitch.
Tino, what did you think there?
I mean, I sometimes I like remember that Elijah like is like on like NXT sometimes and everything, and like it just like it like shocked me for a second, but yeah, it was just random and weird, and I really don't know what we're doing with Josh Briggs. He's obviously getting a title match, and we'll talk about later next week, but I don't know.
Well, the best part of that was
confusing.
they're sitting with Hank and Tank, and then Trick Williams comes in after they're talking to Oba, and he looks around and he goes, "Why y'all got this leather on?" And I was like, "That is great."
That's Kyle's favorite tag team on NXT.
Yeah, well, Kyle, because it's your birthday, honk honk indeed. But they're all standing together. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it. No,
Kyle, I got you.
I'm
I
not
got you.
doing
I
it.
got you. But yeah, I
Nope.
mean, those three, I don't know what we're doing with them and Elijah. I feel like nothing's changed. He's still Elias. He just has a different name now. He still carries around the guitar. He's not.
Well, he can't be Elias because that's owned by
An identity crisis.
yeah, and he can be all of his brothers, right? It's Elijah, it's Elias.
Zeke will be.
Kevin Owens has got to be livid watching NXT right now.
Who?
Kevin Owens.
Oh God, yeah. He's
like this SOB is back.
I love that he did that. I think there was something so like comedic and yet so wrestling about it. It was just perfect. They didn't let it go long enough. That's my opinion. They make him shave his beard. He looks weird. And then I saw him once in Orlando at the airport, and I texted Derek Dillinger because him and Elijah worked together at IWC in Pittsburgh. And I was like, should I go over and say hello? Like, I felt like he didn't want to be bothered, but he was like, you should have. He's like, he's just going back to Pittsburgh, and he wasn't signed at that time. He was already released. So anyway, after that nonsense, and we got to see everybody kind of setting up for the terrible trios match. We get Blake Monroe, who I am extremely excited about, by the way. I like all of this. I like the glamour. I mean, look, if she went by Mariah Monroe, I would have liked that probably better. But I think Blake Monroe works for her, and there's just an aura about her that's 1,000 times higher than everyone else when she comes in. So, I mean, and you see it more as she starts to develop, like coming in, and tonight you'll see it a little more as she does her contract signing. There's something undeniable about the way she looks.
Yeah. Can't teach that kind of stuff.
No. And I think it's just going to be like that. And I don't know how it's going to get to that. Like, I just don't see anybody kind of matching her aura right now. I just don't. So anyway, we go from that and we go to another women's eliminator match.
Do you think that we could possibly see an Evolution triple threat match? Because I'm not used to it. Blake,
you could still call her that. It's not a big deal. I don't.
Blake, whatever. You know, we saw what happened, and we'll obviously talk about it. But maybe whoever wins that Fatal 4-Way next week, and somehow Blake finds her way in, and we get some type of triple threat at Evolution. You know, because they probably want to try to get as many people on the show. And as you said, Mariah Blake is going to be one of these women. I feel like that is gonna like bring out the better in a lot of these women, and she's also going to be able to, I think she's going to rise very quickly to be like a champion very quickly. I think Jordan will most likely win the title against JC, I feel like, but it's not going to be long before Blake is a champion here. Because
I think I agree with you. I know that Kyle is all in on this one. JC beating Evolution's in what, a month, in July
13th.
So do you fast track her to the NXT Championship already?
I would rather not. I think you have Jordan, as he said, beating her JC at Evolution and then push her into that feud. That's what I think. But
because I would say maybe book her like in an exhibition match for Evolution.
I don't know. I don't know how you get I don't know where
the Battle Royal.
I mean, you gotta fill out the whole card. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't want her in a match that's not gonna mean anything.
She gets a free win. She gets a free win on a major pay-per-view. and you get another NXT match on the card.
I don't disagree with Kyle. I would take Britt
I'll
Baker
make the
too.
bold prediction right now. She shows up at Evolution.
Who?
DMD.
No
Yeah,
way.
Kyle said it. We want DMD. Doctor. I'll say Britt Baker.
I don't know. I don't know. I think she's one of those tied up contracts in AEW. I don't know if she's not a free agent or anything.
I heard something today that she was signing apparently, and I don't know.
Oh, there we go.
Britt Baker. There you go.
Yep. GBH's voice doesn't work, but his pen sure does. So let's get back to the action. We get Kalani Jordan and Lash Legend, and we are going back to the women's eliminator. And you know what? This was a good match. There was Kalani Jordan does a great frog splash. I liked Lash Legend in the finisher. I like her winning. I want to see Lash Legend get a push. She was the standout of that group. So obviously, I think Kalani Jordan has kind of run her course as far as getting into that main event scene just for now. So I don't know. What do you guys think of that?
I personally would have rather seen Kalani Jordan win, but that's just because I like her a little bit more. But I think that you're absolutely right. Lash Legend was the better woman out of and the best part of Metaphor and everything, and I think she's finally getting the opportunity because I remember when she first started, and I even called her, and I admitted it. That was weird. There was a lot of people calling her Trash Legend and everything else. So,
Trash Legend. Who called her Trash Legend? Who said that?
Tino, it was Tino.
Well, okay. So the first person I heard it
just
from,
Tino. Yeah.
He was trying to put
the first person I heard it from, and I'm sure that you. I think Kyle actually brought up his name last week, Mr. JD from New York. I was watching him a lot at the time.
That fucking idiot. Yeah.
So I know we don't want to talk about all of that, but I always thought it was funny. But it's nice to actually see her be able to. I always like watching the growth. I always talk about it, like seeing the first ever video package for Lyra and Tiffany, and now seeing them being champions. Everything. I love seeing the growth. So seeing where Lash is going, and she didn't put it on a good showing in the Fatal 4-Way, but And
it's interesting too because 6 of the 8 people in this little tournament are all NIL talents.
Are what?
6 of them are NIL talents.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's the women's roster now.
Kalani is another one of those she is another one of their lab made, she's just athletic and perfect, and that's kind of, I like that. I think some people think of it as a negative that they're NIL because they're not in the indies or whatever. But I think if you put out talent like that, you don't have to say, oh, they work the indies first. If you come out like Kalani Jordan, I think she would do great anywhere. You could put her on the indies. Yeah,
even after you do your NIL stint and then do some time in WWE, you can still do good in the indies too.
Yep. I agree with you.
For yourself after having already trained with the best of the best, learn from the best of the best.
I think it would be. I think someone like an NIL athlete, like a Kalani Jordan, like Lash Legend, if they went to the indies, I think it would be. And I'm not talking about the business of it. I think the skills wise, I think would be a step down. I think they would get worse learning bad traits on the indies. I think they need more of the loops that WWE puts them through in Florida. I don't think NIL athletes are made for the indies. I think they're made for the PC. I think indie wrestlers are made for the indies. There's just a physicality and a DIY type of lifestyle that I don't think any of those NIL athletes have, to be honest. That's just. Yeah. So, I mean, if you threw a Kalani Jordan on the indies and went, go ahead and try to learn, I don't think you're going to get her to learn. I think she's going to stay where she is as far as her skill set, and I don't think she's going to polish it off. But if you bring in someone like Uriah Connors, who, Brogan Finley, who was on the indies for all that time, and you put him in, he's going to learn and get even better, and then he'll go back to the indies and be even better because he knows both.
Right.
So that's just that's just a me thinking out loud, but that's also why that dude JD sucks too. I don't know. He's just so stupid. Yeah. I saw somebody else make a comment about him tonight, and I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, so we go back to the feud that never fucking ends. The D'Angelo family.
Jeez.
This is just a charisma vacuum. Yeah, it's like Bryce Donovan in the ring. It's just a charisma vacuum.
They don't know what to do anymore. Then like
I don't understand what is the end game as far as his thing, and can they just shut up? I get it. You don't trust your guys. Luca Crucifino is terrible. He's terrible.
I thought he got capped.
He's stiff and he's terrible as far as his acting, all that stuff. It's just bad. It's bad. Not good.
Yeah, he was bad as the lawyer. It was terrible. Worst lawyer ever.
Yeah, he didn't even get anybody out.
No.
Don't go around telling people that you're a lawyer if you're not going to be able to get them out. Yeah. No, I think I've had enough. I was all in on it in the beginning.
Send them to Evolve. If they're not going to change their gimmick or do something with Tony, then send them to Evolve. Have some fun there.
That's my question. What is the goal for Tony D'Angelo now? What's the goal? What are you going to do with him? He's not in a title feud. He keeps running back and forth with the same two guys. The other girl is gone. Yeah, you have Stacks doing whatever.
They were like, "Where'd she go?" I was like, "I don't know."
That's what my daughter asked me. She goes, "Where'd that girl go?" I said, "I have no idea."
You know who Tony would actually work with pretty well?
Who?
If you get rid of the Italian gimmick, put him with Solo.
Oh my
God! Come on.
With Solo. Yeah.
No. What's wrong with you?
Solo needs more goons.
I think that's the problem, though. Is I don't know if that would work on the main roster.
No, it would because now you don't have JC or Solo take losses. You have Tony take all the losses. Don't just pissing Solo off, and you add more to Solo's character while trying to gain some sympathy for Tony D'Angelo's.
You know what I mean?
Like a slow burner. I mean, Jacob's not going to run through Solo and JC Mateo in the first 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Here's my thing. Remember how big and how imposing Tony Soprano was. You want to do a Tony Soprano gimmick, you better bring in a guy who's going to be big and imposing and threatening looking. The problem is Tony D'Angelo worked for a bit in NXT 2.0, and now you have a guy like Obafemi and Jasper Troy and some of these monsters walking around, and you look at Tony D'Angelo and you're like, meh, okay, buddy, whatever you say.
I mean, they did give Tony D'Angelo a win over Oba. I don't know why, but they gave him that. He's got that to his name.
That was at a time when they were having him grow. You know, like I don't think I don't think that
transitioning to the main picture. So
yeah, I think that they were using that as a way to kind of grow him and get him into a place that he was gonna be champion. But I think Tony, I don't know, you better come up with something other than every week it's the same as my family crossing me type nonsense, you know? So anyway, let's get away from that. And we get to the back, and there's Trick and the TNA guys, first class.
And the TNA guys.
Yeah.
NXT TNA.
Yeah, and there they are. And KC Navarro is not going to wrestle. So Wesley and High Tops, or whatever the hell they're called, comes in, and we got what are they called?
High Rise.
Oh, High
High Tops.
I like it. Cut that. That's
short. Lord. Yeah. So they come in, and we get that nonsense. And Wesley is now the third man in the worst trios match ever. And
we need to study the fallout and the fall down. What happened to Wesley, man? This man was North American champion, fighting his best friend in a street fight in Chicago on October 1st, and now he has these random two guys next to him. And
I told y'all Wesley wasn't all that. You guys didn't listen to me. Now you're seeing it.
I don't get it. You know, that Wesley that had the North American title, that was the best Wesley, or him and when they were MSK or whatever they were called, that was really good too. Oh, I liked it.
That one was
you know, when they won the tag titles, it was a pretty big deal. I thought that they were gonna be, you know, coming over as the Rascals was a big deal.
Even when they were fighting, like when they were feuding last October, like where did that go? Why didn't we see him continue to be on the show? Like we saw Henry for a while. Like what? I don't know. Like why did they randomly disappear? Other than being in that battle royal like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, that was brutal. Yeah, that was pretty dumb.
Whatever that was.
The no one gets an intro battle royal. Yeah, that's a good one. So then,
man,
yeah. Go ahead, Tino. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna go on a rant and say they need to start doing entrances during commercials, so we stop wasting time on entrances while we're watching the show.
You know, that's funny you say that, because I don't know if you guys remember the GCW show that happened at the Hammerstein, the first one. They had a battle royal planned for the minute the show went on the air, and they ran late from the pre-show to the pay-per-view, so they started getting people out in intros through the pre-show, and they had to rush it because they were trying to get on the air. So that always looks sloppy when you're doing all the intros like in commercials or in between. It just doesn't seem to work. I don't know if anybody remembers that from the chat or anything, but
I didn't think about that. That's a good point though. I don't know. When I watch these entrances, sometimes I'm just like, we could be doing and having more time on matches. So.
Not for a battle royal when you got to bring out like 30 guys or 20 guys.
Not a battle royal. I'm talking about in general. I'm just talking about like
have them all come out to the NXT theme music, like all together.
Man.
I agree with you, GBH. I love the generic everyone out music.
It's so fucking generic, and then they're like, "Oh, it's Raw versus SmackDown, 15 versus 15," and they all come out to the Raw music.
Right.
And then it's just Triple H for his music.
The money, we're in this together, and true it, and everybody's just walking out at the same time.
They're not even waving or nothing. They're just walking like, "Oh, here we go, guys."
They're all oiled up, and they're like, everyone's got like the puffed out chest as they walk to the ring. They just want to show off their frames. Yeah, I want more of that. Yeah. Anyway, Kyle, yes.
The flashback that I just had when you started singing that song, I felt like I was 12 again.
Dude, you say that. I think I was 21. So anyway, I think I was older than that. Anyway, so we go from that nonsense to Chase U, and I love Chase U.
I don't know
why was Kale and Uriah? I finally got his name right, Kale. Why were they leaving? They didn't want that. Like, what the hell? So
who is Chase U now?
That's Andre Chase and Brogan Finley, Fit Finley's kid, Uriah Connors, and that guy Kale, whatever his face is.
So a whole new lineup.
Yeah, they had to restart the school.
This is what Chase U 4.0.
Well, so here's the thing: it doesn't work anywhere else, so it has to work in
it has to be on NXT. Yeah, it might work on Evolve.
Yeah, it'll work on Evolve. Yes, small arenas. You got to keep the Chase U gimmick. You need a student section, which I think they're not leaning into enough. You need a student section for every Chase U show, Chase U match. So, like, if you hand out shirts, at the Performance Center, and like when Chase U comes out, either throw them on or whatever, you leave them in the section, because you could say to people, this is going to be a Chase U section. And then you just do that. But I'm not really sure. Yes, we will be Chase U. We will do that. Yes, we will.
No, we won't.
Chase U.
Chase U.
I am kind of wearing the colors, black and white now.
Listen, I will defend Chase U as Andre Chase said. I love Harlem Bravado. I think he's awesome, and I love what he did in Chikara for a lot of years. So I just don't think they give him enough time in the ring, but he could do a lot. So you might as well let him get some trios time. That trios would be much better than the garbage that was out. That's going to be out later on. Anyway,
they just got to bring back the Freebird rule, and so many more teams can shine.
I'm all for it. Yeah, but you know what? I don't ever want trios titles in WWE, or like I'm trying to avoid. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid them on the indies as well, because AEW completely butchered what a trios title should be when they were so hot. And now, does anybody know who a trios champion is in AEW or in ROH? I don't know who any of them are. It's not. Is it still the Bucks or whoever and FTR? Like, I don't know what's happening. So, Kyle, you say one word answer since you're back there sipping your martini, shaking not stirred.
It's the same martini from dinner. He took it home.
Right. He's sitting there like that.
He's got 2 more hours until he's a year older, and then his bone's gonna hurt a little bit.
He's gonna be 46. So
I thought he was gonna be.
He's gonna go from martinis to what?
Well, he's gonna go from martinis to prune juice, because that's what I went to. I need to be regular. I stopped drinking altogether. Anyway, we go to
Colt 45. We'll be fighting.
I love a good Colt 45. I do.
There you go.
I have no issues with 40s if they're in the like. It's got to be day drinking a 40. Like, I'm not gonna go. We tried that in college, like going out, like before we went out, we pregame with a 40, and like my brain was scrambled by the time I got to the bar. So
and your stomach's full. So.
Yeah. So I think that's a day drinking thing. You keep it at the beach and make sure it's cold, or you do it you're sitting on the porch and you're drinking. That's just way better. Anyway, let's go to Ethan Page with those guys. Jackson Drake, the new Evolve champion, and those two swipe right dudes. And then you get Ricky Saints coming in, and then you get Ashanti the Adonis. I thought he was released. Oh, swipe right. Yeah, sorry, Kyle. I don't know those guys.
What did you say? Swipe left?
I just said those two idiots. I don't know what.
No, I thought you did say swipe right. You said that.
Did I? Oh,
yeah,
okay. Oh, I did say right. Oh,
yeah, you said. Yeah.
I was thinking of 40 ounces, and my brain was scrambled still, so I don't even remember what I said. Anyway,
Kyle.
Yeah, Tino could be in swipe right. That's right. Anyway.
Shut the hell up, please.
Let's get Tino a swipe right shirt.
I lost what I was going to say now. Damn.
We got to get you. We got to. Yeah, we might need to do that. We might need to get Tino a swipe right shirt. Just see. Even though I don't like those guys at all, and I and somebody said Jackson Drake needs to wax his legs when he's wrestling because his legs are very hairy, and he shouldn't be wrestling in trunks if he's not going to wax his legs.
Well, maybe you, Tino, and Butters can talk about that on Night Shift next week. You guys love talking about bodily hairs and shit.
I'm just saying, I'm just trying. I pay attention to everything. You know what I mean?
Whoa,
you got to.
Eric is coming out of nowhere, man.
It's a visual sport. Yeah, Eric, thank you. Where have you been all night? Let's go.
God.
So anyway, as we go into the 6-man tag, Blake Monroe is here. So we go from that to the to a little bit of backstage shenanigans with Tavion Heights and Javon Evans and Ren Sinclair. Charlie Dempsey makes a match for next week, Javon Evans and Tavon Heights, and if Tavon wins, he gets out of whatever nonsense no quarter catch crew he's in. And we go to the worst trios timeline match. Briggs, Inamura, and what's his face, and then we go the other direction with those guys one guy from TNA, Wesley and Trick.
This feels like a match. Did you guys ever play the WWE video game?
It's not negative, Kyle, at all. I'm just making fun of the trios guys. It's not negative.
Yeah, so I thought they suck.
Right. There's plenty of goodness going on. Unfortunately, they loaded up on two of the things that I don't like till this week. You got tons of Tony D on this show, and you got tons of Inamura and Briggs on this show. It's not our fault.
Inamura?
Yeah, it was like those old video games where you're trying to build your way up the ladder, and they'll put you in a random team of 2 random guys against 3 random guys just to help fill out the card. And it's usually a Sunday Night Heat match too.
Yeah, I don't know if I really, you know what I will say? I will say that Inamura's crazy frog splash or whatever he did to pin Trick Williams was insane because that is a huge dude, and he looks like he landed on Trick's face. But the ending I have here. The ending was good. I had no problem, but the match was not good. But the ending was good. And we move on to Saul and Zarya and Tatum Paxley in the back because we're setting up this match for Zarya. And Kyle, I know you're going to think it's negative, but we went from that scene to more Tony D'Angelo because because next week they want to have Tony D wants to have Luca versus Stax, and they had all those mid GMs, the guys from Evolve and Ava, who I like, and So anyway, we go out of that.
The mid off.
Yeah, a mid off. That's what I have. The mid GM. Yep. And then we go to the Zarya match, which I love Zarya's presentation. I think I am a Zarya super fan at this point. Like I like Izzy Dame actually. She has some aura to her, but I think I'm a Zarya fanboy at this point. There might not be anybody I like more on that roster.
He said I'm a Zarya. You know, at least you admit it.
I can't help it.
Hey,
what do you?
Yeah, I think she's great, and I don't know what's holding her back because she has the presentation, she has the gear, like lots of stuff. I mean,
for her to beat the shit out of Soul and take that North American title. That's all.
Which is what Kyle thinks too, but Kyle doesn't want to admit it. Me and Kyle do not want Sol Ruca and Zarya to break up just yet. Like, let that play out for another 3 months.
Yeah, I could see it.
Only Sol Ruca knows that Ruca means old lady in Spanish.
So
she's the old lady of the sun.
I'm sure that's exactly what Tyler Bates saying to Sol Ruca at night.
What's up, forever?
Tyler Bates seems to
Tyler Bates and Frazier, one of them, I don't know, right? One of those two are dating.
I think Kyle's birthday wish is that they'll never break up.
Yeah, well, Kyle, we hope so too for your sake. But I didn't like the ending that Zarya lost. It bugs me that Tatum Paxley's the one who. Yeah,
Tatum, man, Tatum losing all of her friends.
Yeah, but you know what? They obviously see something in her, and I'm cool with that. But I don't know.
What? Exactly?
I don't know if this is where it needs to go. Like, did Zarya not get to the 3 participants so far? Izzy Dame, Jada Parker, and Lash Legend. You're telling me that Zarya, if you had Jada Parker, Lash, and Zarya in that first 3, and then when the next one comes, if you have all that muscle in that match, that would be just giant bombs being thrown from everybody. Instead, you have Izzy in there, which I don't sell as big of a hitter as I would have if it was Zarya. So we went from that to the Lola Vice and Jordan Grace match. And honestly, I'm starting to love Lola Vice. They beat the shit out of each other in that match. They really, Tino, did you
love Lola Vice?
What'd you say?
I said you're just starting to love Lola Vice. Why haven't you loved Lola Vice since day one?
Because at first I wasn't
not all that great.
Yeah, I didn't find her to be all that great in the ring. I also got bugged during what's it called? NXT Underground when she wore her wrestling trunks when she's an MMA fighter. Throw on your MMA trunks if you're gonna go out there and fight in the underground. That's just a little pet peeve of mine.
Well, Natalia and Shayna wore their wrestling gear too, so
that's why I didn't like that either. I don't like that either. If it's gonna be some sort of MMA, do some sort of MMA. I don't know. I think it wasn't necessary. But the next thing we have is that main event. We have Jordan Grace and Lola Vice, and they beat each other half to death. And then Jordan Grace got a good win, and Florida wins the Stanley Cup. Thanks, P. Yeah. I don't think so. Tino's a Chicago guy, and I don't think GBH watches hockey.
I mean, listen, I got my 5 years or 6 years, whatever that was. I'm happy with it, and I remember every Stanley Cup.
You're allowed. You know the rules, right? So my friend P Man, he's an Avalanche, a Lions, Kansas City Royals, and Atlanta Hawks fan. So he's all over the map. But he got his victories, and the rule is you get 5 years to celebrate after your team wins. After 5 years, you got to start rebuilding and getting it where it needs to be.
Can you tell that to Cubs fans because they've been holding their flag since 2015, and
I couldn't agree more. Cubs fans need to drop that shit. We got it. Now you need to rebuild it. So anyway, so yeah, Jordan Grace won, which I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the thing. I think honestly, if Lola would have went up against anybody else, I think she might have won. To be honest.
Well, that's what I thought about Zarya, but then I guess I'm wrong. So, you have
trying to push the culling. It seems like really hard, and it's like I don't know why. It just seems like it's not working, and it sucks because I was so excited when Sean Spears came back.
You know what? I was too, and I like Sean Spears, and people don't. They always shit on him. I don't know. Kyle, by the way. I had Cardinals great Dexter Fowler in my office today, giving the interns a fireside chat seminar about winning and stuff. So, yeah, I'm sorry I didn't realize you were a big Dex fan. I would have gotten you a picture and an autograph. Crap. Anyway, so we go from that to some Heritage Cup stuff, which I like the Noam Dar stuff. I don't want to see him lose to stupid Stacks. I definitely do not.
I thought he was taking on Lightning King.
No, he's fighting Stacks next week
for the Heritage Cup.
Yeah.
I swear I saw King's ass on the picture. Maybe
they were showing all the different winners, but he's wrestling Stacks next week. I don't know. You know what, GBH? I think the Heritage Cup should have stayed at NXT UK. If you ask me, I don't know. They don't do rounds anymore. Like you're kind of just using it as like a trophy for like another belt.
Yeah. They should have just kept it to the former NXT UK guys to uphold the tradition. You know what I mean? Yeah. They already got rid of the NXT UK title, UK women's title, UK tag titles, but they kept the trophy. So I mean, there's so many NXT UK guys that are still NXT now. A couple of the releases were NXT UK guys, like Oro Mensah, also a former NXT UK tag champion. He would have been a good competitor for the Heritage Cup. I mean, shit, I would have Gunter compete for the Heritage Cup to give it some value, but it's lost all of that value.
Listen, that whole thing is just it's own. If he doesn't leave, if he doesn't kill Goldberg like Ivan Drago killed Apollo Creed, then what are we even doing, right? Like he needs to murder Goldberg in his last match.
Just rip off every fucking limb.
My problem is I don't see Goldberg eating those chops. Like I see Goldberg saying, "Sorry, brother, that doesn't work for me." You know what I mean?
Exactly. Oh man.
I have concerns regarding the entire landscape of that match. So I don't know. Yeah, you're right. He needs to beat him. But if they're talking about it being like his retirement match, so I don't think Kyle, I don't think he's gonna win because he's got to lose because it's his last match. He's 59 years old, I think, or 58. Like,
just let go.
Like I think those days are over. Like that would be like you telling me Big Papa Pump is coming back. You know what I mean? Like I don't envision.
No, I just want to know what Bret Hart must be thinking right now.
Listen,
he's probably wearing an Imperium shirt every single day, a different Gunter shirt up to the match.
But let's be honest, wrestling fans. Is anybody that are we not tired of Bret Hart's complaining about Goldberg getting?
Hell no, Goldberg. I'm tired of that. Fuck no, fuck Goldberg.
I watched the whole I don't know where I got into this whole on Facebook today. Like I was watching the reels, and all of a sudden this interview with Hogan and Logan Paul came up, and Hogan was talking about how he was told, you know, him and The Rock were wrestling at WrestleMania, and he went down to Florida because Vince told him to go down there and like set the matchup, and Hogan's like, I'm wrestling for 50 years. I never called a match beforehand. I never wrote it down. I won't remember. He's like, they asked me to do it once before. He goes, no, brother, if I'm not wrestling in front of 50,000, I'm going to get hurt out there. I don't have any adrenaline. So it's like, you never trained. You just waited till you went out in front of, and it was always 50,000. You never went in front of like, 200 in a house show. He's such an idiot. He's an idiot. Anyway, back to the end of NXT, we get our Blake Monroe contract signing, and you know what? It went exactly like I was hoping it wasn't going to go exactly like all the contract signings go. You get JC Jane and her, fatal influence coming out and starting a whole to-do, and I like the fact that Blake Monroe did not wilt. Like Mariah May is not it's not a model who's wrestling. She's a wrestler with model good looks. So like she's not afraid. And if JC Jane comes out, you saw it in her face that she was just like, whatever. Like you don't scare me. And I'm not going to be like intimidated by you three idiots when I know I'm better than you. Like that was the look on her face. I love that. Like more of that. You know what I mean? Like we don't need any more people who are coming in and being like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I signed my contract and now I'm getting harassed by three people. She was like, I'm ready to go when you're ready. And she just got jumped. They put her through a table, but it doesn't matter because she didn't show any fear. Like you still get over if you start cowering, then I've already lost faith in you. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I might not have given her that beating right away.Maybe they should have waited a little bit to give her a little shine.
Yeah, because what are you going to do there? Are you going to have her run the gauntlet, or do you get her some help for for 1 3 versus 3 match?
Well, I don't want to see another trios match, GBH.
With Josh Briggs as a special guest enforcer.
Right. Every trios match has to have Josh Briggs in it somehow. It doesn't matter what company it is. It always has to be Josh Briggs.
I'd say just call up Josh Briggs. Fuck it. Let him sink or swim. No, seriously, let him sink or swim. Fuck it. I think his time in NXT is over. Like, he's not going to be a champion. He's not going to be a tag champion again. Like, just call
he should
up.
be in a trio with Jeff Cobb and Solo now that Jacob is gone. They should put
Tony D'Angelo. No, put Tony D'Angelo in there. Not Josh Briggs.
They should do an NXT, a Nexus 3.0, and it's just trios, just all trios, and they come in and bore you to death.
Or those 6 guys come together,
right?
Trios, and they make one giant group.
Right, and then they keep separating though, and every match has to be a trios. They bore you half to death. Alteration. Yes. Mm-hmm. They go, this sounds great, but I only work in trios, brother. That's the end of that.
Only in trios.
Not going to work for me. It's not a trios match.
That's like this tonight. We could, if we were naming an episode, it could be Night Shift episode 14, the trios edition, because there's 3 of us here too. We are the Main Event Network's triumvirate of trios. This is the trios. Right. Like if you want to have a fight, I will go into it with this trio, even though Tim Vicious is insane. I still would have you two with me in a trios, even though I'd want Tim Vicious at ringside. I think he's the guy who would just like bite the rope like a moondog. I think.
Yeah, he would just start in the ring and start biting the rope. They're like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Oh shit! Well. Anyway, at the end here, we are coming to the end of this nonsense tonight. So I want to put up you guys your X and Twitter and everything handles. So if you like what you hear, if you had fun with us tonight, go on to the Main Event Network. Subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell everybody that you had some fun with us on a Tuesday night. I know that our pal DC Hendricks, who was on our show, he does an NXT show. There's a few of us, but you know what? I think we do this one the best. So, have fun with us over here on the Night Shift. You could catch me on the Indie Wrestling Guide. This week we talked to Jeff Steele. He's an AIW student who is starting his wrestling journey. We have and on the Main Event Wrestling Guide, we have some big news coming Monday. Regarding potential shows and whatnot. And hang in there on Monday. You'll get that announcement. So, Tino, you want to give your plugs?
Yeah, well, you can follow me on Tino's Time, and as you guys said, what I guess Kyle likes to call me the Iron Man now. Is that what the nickname he comes up with? I don't know. Everybody gives me. I haven't given myself one nickname, but they all give me it. So I'm live every day, all the time on Tino's Time. You can find me on all the social medias down there. And you mentioned Tim Vicious. We actually have an episode coming out on his channel tomorrow. Me and him did an interview, and we talked and we chatted and stuff. So make sure you check that out. Main Event Network, OTM, guys, all that stuff. I'm so used to looking at my ticker, I'm just going to start saying it. But, yeah, Tino's Time everywhere. And if you do like baseball, you also go check out the Southside Boys. Kyle, also, is that bloodbath over? Did the Cardinals win yet? So I don't have to look at the score. Well, yeah, Tino's Time, and I appreciate you having me on the show. It was a good time, and
hell yeah,
always love it.
I don't know, Tino, but the Mets lost to the Braves. They're up 4-1 in the 8th, and they lost. So go ahead, GBH. What do you got for us?
I ain't got much to plug because I ain't got much of a voice, but just help us reach 200 followers. Tell everybody where we're at, what we do. We got all kinds of shenanigans going on here at the Main Event Wrestling Network, all kinds of characters. I just witnessed Tim Vicious interview himself. That's always fun to watch as well. So there's a lot of fun things to do here. Subscribe to us, tell all your people.
We lost you there for a second.
Okay.
I think it sounds like you're talking to us through the in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle sewer house right there. All I hear is like going through, but
how about now?
Yeah, there you go. Go ahead and finish it off.
Just help us hit 200 subscribers so we can hit 300 next.
Hell yeah. So that's the goal. That's the goal for us. If you like what you hear, if you like what you read from the blog World Order from GBH, and he has his show. If you like what you hear when Tino's on there and you like to join in and hang out, come on and join us. And we will be here every week on the night shift. Our shift is over, everybody. Thanks again, and we will see you next week.